Hi, loves. Welcome to AW Confidential, where nothing is confidential. Today I sit down with Tonatiuh, Variety's One to Watch, and the soul of Kiss of the Spider Woman. As Luis Molina, he transforms vulnerability into power, proving that storytelling isn't just survival, it's truth. This isn't your typical press day chat. We're going deep into love, identity, and the web that traps us until we choose to break free. Enjoy.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola, Tonatiuh. ¿Cómo
¿Qué
estás?
tal? Muy bien, muy bien. Qué linda sonrisa, mira.
Ay, gracias. Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations. Loved you in this film. You truly are the soul of this story for me.
Hmm.
So it was a gift. Thank you so much. And congratulations on being named one of Variety's actors to watch.
Yes, yes, that's crazy.
I know, but I love it. I love you so much. You
Oh,
truly brought so much soul. I mean, all the characters were amazing, but you just turned this into the love story I wasn't expecting.
hmm.
And your dynamic with Diego Luna flips the expectations of men on screen. Raw, tender, vulnerable. What do you think that says about masculinity today? Because you showed the audience something very special, that relationship.
It's interesting. Molina, when Molina enters the cell, we shot the film in sequence, right? And so the first time that you see Molina entering the cell and seeing Valentín was the first time that Diego and I actually saw each other in full character. Um, and so with each, scene, we were both learning each other and the characters were learning each other, which was a really, really cool gift. Um, but it was fascinating. This thing kind of happened because Molina has this larger than life persona. And I think that it serves as a mask to protect themselves from the actual vulnerability that they feel, right? But with each passing scene, with every traumatizing thing that happens to both of them, they both drop their facades and they're able to connect. And so the lesson that I walked away with this was in order for you to get love or connection, vulnerability must be the price you pay. You have to drop your walls, right? And
Love
so
that.
in a time where like all these crazy things are happening and we feel so isolated, it's like, I think we have to start expressing our vulnerability to each other.
I
We have
love
to
that.
say, I'm afraid, or I don't know, or I'm scared.
And it's interesting you mentioned that. In an interview, Jennifer called this a musical that is relevant and timely.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that this love story, and this is a tale of two love stories, actually, maybe three.
Three. Yeah,
Three,
exactly.
three, there's three, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
won't give too much. Why is this love story the one that the world needs to see? Because it's a tale of three love stories, you're right.
Well, there's a certain level of, there is, we love to put labels on things, right? Humans don't live outside of a world of story and labels and schemas, just trying to understand our way through something that just doesn't need that much of an explanation, right? I think at the end of the day, we all want to be heard, be seen, be loved. Um, and what I love about this project and what my mission statement was with Molina, um, was that I wanted their physical form to be such a non-conversation.
Mhm.
I wanted who they were to be at the center of their totality. I wanted like Valentín and Molina were able to witness who each other were and needed each other despite their differences in ideology, despite their differences in opinion. Um, and I think that because of everything that's been happening all around us, we seem to be divided by those very things. But like, aren't we all just fighting for the exact same things? Aren't we all just fighting to feed our family and to not go into medical debt for spraining an ankle?
100%. And you're making so many good points. I think one of the things that I felt as I was watching this film was truth. There was truth all over this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. Molina survives through truth telling, storytelling. His fantasies both were an escape and defiance. So, what truth about storytelling's power did this role reveal to you, or for uh,
You know, it's funny. I don't think I ever considered that Molina was a truth teller because I do think Molina lives in a world of like Blanche Dubois, Blanche Dubois from A Streetcar Named Desire, where she's just like out in the world. I think that what I discovered
but
through
she
the
lives from her soul.
yeah, well, Molina does live a very emotionally tied
Yeah.
soul, right? But what I got from John Candor, this was a little nugget that he gave me. He said that Molina didn't believe that he could be the protagonist of his own story until he fell in love. And once that was able to happen, they were capable of so many unimaginable things. And I think that's true of all kinds of love. Like when you think of a woman who gives birth and becomes a mother, they say like, oh my gosh, the things that she will do for her child are unbeknownst to anyone, right? And the lengths that people go when they fall in love, the traveling, the drama of all of it. So I don't know. I think that who do we get to become once we fall in love is a really good question.
Mm. Did you learn anything about yourself through Melina?
I did. I realized how much I was compartmentalizing myself in order to make myself more palatable for other human beings. In Hollywood, I don't know where I got this notion from, and I'm sure it was inherited somewhere, but I felt like my femininity was going to hinder me in some kind of way. And it hadn't historically. In other projects that I did, Vida, I was very proud to be gender nonconforming or gender queer, right? But then you get positively conditioned. You get positively conditioned when you perform masculinity to start playing those things. And as an artist, I don't care. Like my body's a vessel that I'm borrowing, and the rest of it is just like for play, right? But the commerciality, the capitalistic view of what we do turns into branding. But with Molina, I was, first of all, I lost 45 pounds in 50 days. And I
Wow.
hadn't been that thin and that, my muscles hadn't been that atrophied since I was in high school. And so to be in that world and to rediscover what that femininity felt like and looked like, it reminded me that all of who I am is my power.
I love that. And before I let you go, I have to ask, when we walk away from watching this beautiful production, and there's so much to say there, what truth do you hope we walk away with?
I've been gifted a few things by this movie, but one of them is people share their stories with me. After they see the film, we do Q&As. People have shared that they're afraid of leaving their houses, that they're walking around with their passport in their pocket because they're scared, that they're telling
I
their parents not to speak in their native tongue because they're afraid, that they're afraid of being marked as a terrorist for their gender expression, for their gender identity, for their sexuality. And there's just something that that silence in the room shifts when someone shares that. All of a sudden,
vulnerability.
everyone tunes in and they connect with quite literal strangers and they feel encouraged to then share their truth. And I think that fear is contagious, but courage is also contagious. And these last few months have been scary to say the least, but I have witnessed strangers putting their own bodies on the line for their neighbors who they do not know. And how beautiful of a sight is that? And so it
Mm.
makes me really proud to know that people walk away from this film feeling less alone and hopeful.
And you made it okay to be vulnerable, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tonatiuh.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode of AW Confidential. Tonatiuh didn't just play Molina, he honored him, giving us a love story that's as unexpected as it is unforgettable. Conversations like this remind us why truth matters, even when it's messy, even when it's raw. Thank you for listening or watching to AW Confidential, where stories turn into survival and survival becomes legacy. I hope that you take this conversation with you when you go to theaters to watch Kiss of the Spider Woman. Talk to you soon.